few months later, I was diagnosed with breast cancer, so it kind of put everything on hold. But at the same time, it gave me the kind of the kick to think, right, I really need to go for this. So I went along and I did the DFE in between kind of my treatment.
And I remember that was like a crazy time.
So I had my operation in May, and then I went to Mexico for treatment towards the end of the year. But without your support and your YouTube videos and your energy, like even when I was in hospital, I just thought, oh my God, I feel really awful. And I literally just put on one of your videos, and your voice and your energy just lifted my spirits.
Hey, what's up? My name's Samuel Leeds. Right now, I am in Blackpool. I'm in one of the best streets in Blackpool, but right there is one of the worst houses in the best street. It was recently purchased by one of my students, Andrea Harber. How are you doing, Andrea?
Good, hi.
So, Andrea, this is not your first investment. You've bought a lot of houses before.
Yeah, but this is my only one in Blackpool.
So why would you come all the way from Buckinghamshire, which is where you live, and invest so far away in Blackpool, which has got a little bit of a bad rep? Why would you do that?
Because the yields are so high compared to where I live in the southeast.
Yeah.
So you get so much more for your money here. And it's just working really well.
And tell me, what's the advantage of buying the worst house in the best street? What's the rationale behind that?
Well, because it's a really decent street and I can make it look like the rest of the houses eventually, which is currently under construction at the moment. We're having it all re-rendered. And hopefully soon in the next few months it will look like the others. So it will
and it's going to push the value up, right?
Yeah.
How much do you pay for it?
185.
So she bought this house for £185,000. Let's go have a look around on the inside. I want to crunch the numbers.
Yeah.
I want to work out how you put your team together. You've got, what have you done with this? You've turned it into 7 flats.
Well, no, it's already 7 flats, and we've just done a refurbishment on one of the flats, and then someone will be moving in next week. So
let's go and have a look round.
So all the other flats are currently tenanted, except for this one. So the tenant's going to be moving in next week. So this one we had to refurbish. It had a really low energy rating, so all the ceilings had to be insulated and everything. All these walls was like thick cream cheese plaster.
Sounds awful.
So they were all plastered, and
well, it looks nice now. Let's go to the kitchen.
And then this is the kitchen.
Wow, you must be happy.
I am, because the old kitchen was literally falling to pieces, wasn't it? And it was a galley kitchen, so it was very small and narrow.
Nice.
And then we just made it all into one room.
So this apartment,
yeah.
I mean, this is a really nice kitchen.
Yeah.
You could rent this out. It's so close to the seaside, presumably you could rent this out as serviced accommodation.
We were going to, but obviously during the pandemic and everything, we decided to change it and just have it as a tenant move in, because we found a really good tenant that wanted to move in. That was a friend of someone in flat 2.
That's the power though,
and
I know you know a lot about this, of having exit strategies.
Yeah.
So you think it could work for this, it could work for that. Great, so how much rent are they going to be paying in here?
So it's going to be $650 a month on this one.
Yeah.
And obviously service accommodation, we would have made more money, but now our plan is to look for something else around here that we can run as service accommodation, because I know that the tenant who's moving in here will probably stay a long time, won't she? Because she's got a disabled son.
Yeah.
She's a nurse, and she likes the flat.
And this area as well. I know I said you bought the worst house in the best street. Is this a decent area?
It is, it's obviously when you get closer to this town centre, it's not as desirable.
That's the crazy thing about Blackpool.
Yeah.
The closer you get to the centre, the more rough it gets.
Whereas this is a bit further out, but they still rent really well, and it is just a nice.
So for the whole property, you've got 7 flats. 6 of them are rented.
Yeah.
This one's going to be rented next week. What's the total rent that you're expecting?
It'll be $3,050 a month.
Okay. So you're obviously not going to manage this yourself.
No.
It's important to have a good team.
Yeah.
And you have the fabulous Lee and Richard. So I mean, these guys, by the way, these guys are just great. I've been in their house today. In Lee's kitchen, eating pot noodle.
We have.
What do you think of this place, Lee?
I love it. I think it's great. It wasn't.
No.
It's been a long haul.
Yeah.
But we got it there. we got it where we needed
And
to.
Richard, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's a good area as you touched on. You know, the further away from the centre you get.
Yeah.
If you look at the investment in Blackpool, certainly like the 2 5-star hotels they built, they're not in the centre. They put them right up the South Shore. And again, you look at the hotels in and around this area, like the Cliffs, the Imperial, which are the higher end hotels, they're away from the centre.
Yeah.
So the advantage of service accommodation somewhere like this is the illuminations, the trams go, you're 2 minutes to the tram stop, so it's perfect.
Yeah, well, honestly, so Andrea, you bought this house for 185,
yes.
185,000. You're renting it out for just over 3,000 in total a month.
Yeah.
And the great thing about apartments is that you've not got any bills.
No bills. So they all pay they've all got their own electric, they pay all their own bills, so I don't have to, you know, factor any bills in.
So what's the return on investment work out on this property as a whole?
About 36%.
That's incredible!
Yeah. Well, that's the thing with Blackpool. You buy low, rent high.
Yeah,
as you say.
36%, and that factors in maintenance, voids,
Yeah.
management,
Yeah.
and you're paying quite a big lead takes quite a big chunk.
But it goes way beyond any sort of, you know, managing agent.
Do you know
can
what?
never get hold of them.
I used to run a letting agency.
Yeah.
And the most annoying question that you get is, well, what do you actually do for your percent? It's like, really?
Yeah.
What do you actually, you know, investors sometimes can be greedy, but it's the best. Every single time I've spoke to one of my Winners Wednesdays, my students said, what's the key to your success? Every single time, management. So how do you guys justify your big 15%? That's what it is, right?
Yeah.
How do you justify that?
So we do very much a boutique service. So it's very different in terms that we do meet the clients, the type of clients that we do research into them. Now, yes, you can do it through an agency, and you can send off, fill in the form and send off the agreements. We actually go to where they currently live in. So actually we're taking on another investor as such. So we do understand where they've come from.
One of the main reasons for looking at where they currently live is the old saying is you don't know somebody till you've lived with them. So if you go and see how they look at keep the current property, it gives you an idea on how they're going to look after.
So and it's not just that, it's right the way through to the letting and then managing that letting.
You collect the rent?
We do collect
the rent.
rent.
If the rent's late, you chase the rent.
Yes, we do.
You then send you work a breakdown out and send that every single month to the landlord.
Yes,
we
Hands
do.
off, landlord doesn't have to visit.
No.
And also the other thing that's
I pay
really
all day
good,
long.
the other thing that's really good is what Lee organises is whatever is organised, I get all the receipts of what's been spent on paint. It's all transparent, so everything I know what's been spent, and that, you know, it just makes it so much nicer that you know everything that's going on.
Yeah.
Whereas I think with an agent sort of in the high street that you can pick up, you're not going to get all those details.
Yeah.
So everything's broken down, and it just makes it so much nicer to work with. So this is the first time I've been here today since it's all been done. So obviously Lee's put a new kitchen in.
And he's doing a fabulous job.
He
of
has
this.
done a good job.
Island's kitchen, and you know what? Honestly, I would live here.
Yeah.
It's great.
So we've got where's the integrated things that were going in, Lee? What did we see?
There you go. That's why I didn't want you around, because she hasn't got a clue
so
about it.
So yeah, integrated fridge. I don't even know where the things are because I haven't been there.
What did you think when you first saw this kitchen when you came today?
No, I was really pleased with it because it was just so grim in here when I bought it.
What did it look like before?
Well, it was crowded with lots of someone's belongings to the ceiling. There was just loads of rubbish in here. It was a small galley kitchen, so they took the wall out just to open it all up, and it looks a lot brighter.
It looks fantastic. You guys are doing a cracking job. All right, show me what's next.
So there was all new electrics put in.
Has it been rewired?
It's all been rewired.
Okay.
New bathroom.
Nice.
Because there was a shower here, and you know, the layout wasn't great.
What's the crack with this bathroom then? Because this doesn't look finished. Like, what's happening here?
No. Well, what's
It's boiler.
Right, so there was a bit of a delay because of obviously the coronavirus.
Yeah.
We were meant to be having a boiler put in.
Well, this would just be a big boiler here.
No. It wasn't. No, it wasn't going to be. No, there was going to be a central heating system put in.
Okay.
But then there was a delay because of the coronavirus. They couldn't come in and did it, so they were waiting for that to be put in. So now we've got to put electric shower in because there's just been a backlog of getting a new gas system put in and and stuff like that.
Well,
So
finding solutions, not problems.
Yeah, so that's
you
what
can't
we
get
need
the
to
you can't get the boiler and everything all in. Then you go electric, right?
yeah, so it's a good size.
2 bedrooms.
Yeah.
I can't believe how big this one apartment is.
Yeah.
Is this the biggest?
No, the flat 2 is bigger, isn't it? So they're all quite big. There's a couple of studios on the top floor.
Yeah.
And then there's a 1-bedroom flat that Michelle's in, is that right? That's 1
right.
bedroom. And yeah, as I say, they're all fully tenanted.
It's great. And
And
it's, do you know what I've
it's
noticed as
smart.
well? You remind me of me a lot, because when you go out to look at properties, you're asking Lee stuff because you don't really know. Because it's so hands off.
Yeah.
This is the first time you've seen this house in how long?
I haven't been here. When was it? January?
You don't even
I was
remember
here?
when you were last here? January.
That was
Before
it.
Christmas.
Oh, before Christmas. Yeah, it was just it was about December, the beginning of
December.
December. Yeah.
So since
I haven't seen it.
Since December though, of all these properties, it's all been rented out.
They were already rented. So no, most of them were rented. There's a nurse in since, and then that other guy, is it Jason? So yeah, 2 new tenants have moved in since I've owned it, because 2 were empty when I bought it. So they've since moved in. So
Right.
they're all full now.
So no,
And
what
then
I'm saying
just
is,
this
since
one.
you bought it,
Yeah.
it's been giving you an income.
Yeah,
every
yeah,
single
from
month.
day one, yeah.
So you bought this, it's been giving you an income ever since.
Yeah.
You've not been out.
No.
You'd only, how many times had you seen it before you bought it?
Only once.
So you viewed it once, you bought it,
Yeah.
had a good team, it's been giving you an income ever since.
Yeah.
And how much have you been making then since you bought it? How much have you been renting out for approximately?
How much a
The
month?
whole, yeah.
Well, it's been obviously it's just all the different rents come in. I can't remember off the top of my head, but the total amount once this one's rented will be $3,085
Yeah.
a month
Yeah.
coming in once
Leeds,
this
right.
tenant moves in. Yeah.
Oh.
The carpets are going in this week, so it's just all been painted. So it's just the carpets that got to go in.
Yeah. So how did you find this property then? Where did you find it on Rightmove?
Yeah, it was just on Rightmove. I came down initially. I stayed with Lee because he's got lots of Airbnbs in the area, and that's how I met him. And then I viewed a few properties, and then the yield on this was so high that I just liked it.
So this property, you bought it for 185.
Yeah.
What was it on the market for?
It was on for 200. I think it had originally been on for 210, but then it'd been reduced down to 200.
Yeah.
And then I bought it for 185.
And how much did the owner, the current owner, how much did they buy it for when
They
they
bought it for 210 in 2011.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's the thing. So they bought it for 210 in 2011.
Yeah.
And then almost 10 years later, 9 years later, you come
Yeah.
and pick it up for 185.
Yeah.
Which means that, I don't know, what do you think that means?
Well, it was crazy because in 2011 also, all the other flats, obviously you can't see them because they're tenanted at the moment, there was all new kitchens put in, that whole building was rewired, and everything was kind of done. It was only this one that was a bit of a mess. So it was a really good price because the previous owners had spent money on it, putting all the new kitchens in the other flats.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a really good
Now,
price.
a lot of people, Andrea, would see this property and they say, buy it for 185, rent it for 3,000 odd, 7 flats in Blackpool,
Yeah,
36% return on investment after all costs.
yeah.
Sounds too good to be true. It sounds, something's bound to go wrong. You're gonna have terrible tenants.
Yeah.
There's gonna be loads of problems. What would you say to people like that?
I think the thing is, there's always going to be issues. It's like having a bad day at work. You know, we did have an issue with one of the tenants because there was a bit of a mess up with the universal credit because we used to have it rented. Well, before I bought it, it was with another agent, and then the rents got paid directly to them, and then there was a bit of a mix-up. So there was a bit of an issue there, but that's been sorted out now, so that's all up and running and fine. So yeah, you are always going to have issues here and there, but I think now it's over the worst of it, and it's once someone moves in here, it's all up and running. The tenants in these other flats, they're lovely tenants. They've done all the garden, all the front garden. They've planted flowers. They're really nice. and I'm in touch with them. So yeah, it's worked out really well.
And you've been getting a recurring income from this property
From
since you
day
bought
one.
it.
Yeah.
So you bought it day one, you're getting an income straight away.
Yeah, because there was when I bought it, there was 4 tenants that was already living in.
And they were paying about how much each were they
Well,
paying?
each, I think the flat 2, I think they pay $525 a month. And then upstairs there's a 1 bed, I think she pays, I think it's 400. And then the other one is a studio, I think they pay 90 a week. It all just comes in different amounts.
So on average you're talking about 450, 500 each.
Yeah.
And if you've got 4, so it's a couple £1,000.
Yeah.
The mortgage payments are how much?
$497 a month.
$497 a month.
Yeah.
You've got no bills,
No bills.
no council tax.
No.
And now you're renting out the other apartments.
Yeah.
This is the last one to go.
Yeah.
And you've got a tenant moving in.
Next week.
Fantastic.
So we need to, so that it, it looks a bit of a mess, but the carpet's going to go down.
It's a really good example of buy low, rent high.
Yeah.
This is buy low, rent
Well, that's
high.
what you taught me, and that's the thing. It's like, I don't think, before I went to your crash course, to be quite honest, I wouldn't have had the confidence to buy something like this. It's quite a big deal. It's quite a big house. And there's a lot to it, and I wouldn't have had the confidence, I don't need to buy it before I came to your crash course.
And you've not just done the crash course, you've done the crash course, you've also done the deal finding extravaganza, and it looks like it's paying off.
Yeah, it has, definitely. Because I would have never, I'll be honest with you, I'd have never have bought this, or even bought up north, without going to your crash course. Honestly, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
And it's that gave me the confidence to do that.
How many properties do you own now?
7.
And that's a combination of HMOs, single lets, you've also done some VRRs, refurb development properties. So this is a cracker.
Yeah.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate it?
This one, it's getting there. I would say it's a 9. I think once it's finished, it will be.
Once it's fully rented out, it'll be a 10.
And then it's up and running. At the moment, it's just obviously been, it's costing money to do the bits and pieces, but it's. It's getting there.
That's great.
So, but then you need to spend, to accumulate, and that's how it works.
You must be very proud of yourself.
Yeah, I am pleased with it. Honestly, it was such a state in here before. It was literally, the whole ceiling was piled full of furniture, and
did you
the whole, all the walls and everything, they were like thick. What do they call it? Like cream cheesy type of plaster
Did
all
the
over.
£9,000, £10,000,
Yeah.
does that cover removing all of the furniture
Yeah,
out,
he did it all,
everything?
yeah. And he got in the kitchen for free because I helped him get a deal with Chris on a rent to buy scheme. So he did this as a way of saying thank you. So I didn't pay for the kitchen.
It's nice.
So he did that.
That's the thing, it's all about relationships.
Yeah.
Well, you've done an absolutely amazing job. And Lee, honestly, pleasure to see what you're doing.
Thank you.
So we're off, where are we off to now?
Lane End in Buckinghamshire.
What am I going to think of that?
You'll love it.
Will I?
Yeah.
Will I love it? I'm excited, let's go check it out.
Hello!
How
are you doing? Thank you.
Good to see you. Good
to see you.
Nice. It's a bit different from Blackpool.
It's been a bit of a work in progress, but
Have you done this extension?
yeah, so it was originally like this, and then we had the extension. We wanted to go out further, but because of the land, they wouldn't allow us to go anymore. So it is what it is, but we made the best of what we could do with the space. So this is classed as land of outstanding natural beauty,
Okay.
which
Well, it is
it's
pretty
a bit of a
beautiful.
mess.
Oh wow.
So yeah, the garden's not finished yet. The guy was meant to come 2 weeks ago. He keeps letting me down, so that's a work in progress as well. But hopefully this weekend he's going to come and sort it out. So.
Right. The area is just nice.
Yeah, well,
isn't
it's
it?
really good because it's like literally about 2.5 miles from Marlow,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of people because Marlow's so expensive. People can't afford to live there. So this is and there's not many HMOs in this area.
Have you started advertising the rooms yet?
Yeah, the ad went out last Thursday. There's some people coming the weekend to have a look because some people are working away but moving into the area.
Yeah.
So
then you'll rent it out nicely.
Hopefully, come and have a look anyway. So this was originally the lounge, so we split.
It's so nice.
Right, so we split the
you know, obviously the lounge
Yeah.
to make this as a bedroom. Right, so this is the kitchen.
Oh wow.
Right, so what we did is we just put up this wall to make it, and there was a wall up here, so we took the wall out just to make it a through sort of open area.
Yeah.
And then we had this back extension put in, because there used to be like an old conservatory that was fallen down. So they just put in this kind of extra area for this. And then what we did is, initially on the original plans, they were going to put this bedroom through the middle of the kitchen. And when I came and I said to the builder, I don't know why the architect did that, but it just wasn't going to work. So we put a bedroom down here. Whoever gets this room is quite sort of out of the way.
Yeah.
Of, you know, rather than being in the middle of the kitchen, it's quite sort of secluded. And
Yeah.
so
Nice.
yeah.
It's done really high standard. How much did you buy this place for?
260. So houses along here, without obviously having an extension, they sell for about 325.
Okay.
We got it for 260 because it was sold back through the council, because the people who lived here before were like an elderly couple, and they'd gone into, well, one had died and one had gone into a home, and they had no family, so they couldn't cope. Well, they had, you know, she had dementia, so she obviously couldn't cope with it. So it was sold as a quick sale, and so we bought it cash. There was quite a lot of people looking, you know, when we came for the open day here, there was about 30 people in the house wanting to buy it, because it was such a cheap house, because as I say, other houses around here sell for about 325. So we got it for that price. We spent about 106,000 on the extension and the whole refurb. And the new value, the agent said between 450 and 460.
Very nice.
So it's, you know, it's been good. And then
That's
we're going to
great.
pull our money out, at least sort of 200,000, and then go again with something else.
How much are you marketing these rooms?
So the ones with the en-suites will be 650 a month. There's one room upstairs, because we didn't get the licence for the 7-bed. We've done it as a kind of a little living area. So my HMO managers managed put that up for 795. Right. So they get kind of 2 rooms, and then the ones without the bathroom. So there's 2 rooms that will share the bathroom. They will go for sort of 550. So I think the overall monthly figure will be about 3,845 a month.
And that's realistic for the area.
Yeah.
I mean, considering it's very close to London.
Yeah.
It's probably, what, half an hour on the train?
Yeah, so you could, from High Wycombe, about 35 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah,
So-
it's great.
So this is the bathroom that these 2 rooms will share. So these are the only 2 that's a shared bathroom.
Yeah.
So that's in there, and then, so this is the extension of that. So it's not the biggest room in the world, but it's, you know, it's got everything in it. I think you get, without sounding rude or snobby, I think you get a better level of tenant than sort of up north.
But why is that? Because obviously the people up north are really good. Like
yeah,
my mum's
you know,
northern.
some are. Yeah, some are.
But
I'm
what-
not. Yeah, you know, I think some are.
I just feel like these rooms, I'm just so confident they're going to rent fast. They're going to be good quality tenants.
Yeah.
And I mean, I know your return on investment in Blackpool was amazing that we've just recently seen.
Yeah.
But if I had to choose which property to go for, it would be this one.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it is easier. Obviously, it's because I live 20 minutes away from here, so it's easier to. Although I'm going to have a HMO manager manage it, if there are any problems and I need to pop down, it's up the road, so it's easier. But
you won't have to do that, because this won't have problems. With a good management company,
well,
this will just be smooth.
yeah. And Lynn, who manages it in this area, she's got like over 200 houses she manages, and she's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
And she's really on the ball with stuff. So she manages one of my other HMOs in Wycombe, and and it's been really good so far.
Has it?
Yeah,
What
she gets
kind
really good rents as well.
What kind of occupancy does she have across her rooms?
Literally, I think every time I speak to her, she has like 2 rooms empty. Out of the 200, she have like 2 empty. I think it's gone down. I think the last time I spoke to her, I think there's now 7 rooms empty out of the whole portfolio of houses that she manages. Because obviously some people have, you know, been made redundant. They've gone home. we had 2 pilots in our other house, trainee pilots, and obviously because of Corona they went back home because their course was finished. Well, not finished, but on hold. So 2 of the rooms are empty at my other one at the moment, but hopefully they'll be filled again soon.
So when you refinance this, are you expecting to pull out all of your money?
No, because I think because we bought this with another investor's money. I just want to pull out what I've put in and another 100 that we're going to use to do another joint venture again.
Nice.
So
you financed this with someone else's money?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, very good.
So that's the plan.
Did you put any of your own money into this deal?
Yeah, so I paid for the refurb and the extension. So my own money was about 160.
And where did you get that money from?
So that was from the sale of our house.
Yeah.
Because you said rent where you live.
Yeah.
So we sold our house and used some of the money.
Yeah.
But
the interesting thing is though, with the money that you make from this and the other properties, the house that you're now renting is quite a lot nicer than the house that you sold, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a lot nicer. Yeah, it's like a lovely farmhouse, really nice road, surrounded by sheep and fields. So it's a lot nicer where we live now.
What would you say the advantages are? Because a lot of people don't take on my advice on that. A lot of people, they've got their own home, they own it outright, and they go, no, I've worked all my life for this house, now I want to build upon that. Whereas I say, just sell that and invest it smart, which was what you've done.
Yeah.
What would you say are the advantages to selling your house and renting and then investing that money?
I think the advantages, I can't speak for other people, but the advantages for us has been that we're living in a lot nicer house than what we were living. We were living on a very busy main road before. It's a lot bigger house. Obviously, if something goes wrong in the house, we can call up the landlord, so we don't have to. We don't have that worry.
Yeah, because it's perks of being a tenant.
Yeah. And what else is there? Obviously, it's freed up money to enhance our monthly income.
Yeah.
So it's had a lot of advantages.
Smart move.
Yeah, and I think the last time we spoke, as we bought the house. What I spoke about on my last video, actually the money that I put into that I pulled out and put to this, so it's already been recycled. So yeah, it's just kind of ticking over.
And the fact that you've done a great extension on it, you can push the value up.
I've got sensor lights in the hallway, which I learned from my last HMO, because every time I go there the lights are always on in the hallway, so they're all on sensors.
Yeah, good.
So these are the rooms that is going to be for one person or potentially a couple, because we didn't get the license for the 7-bed and I wanted to keep the room downstairs as a bedroom rather than another living area because there was enough living space. We're just going to rent this whole area to one person, so they've got their own bathroom, which is a really nice size.
So if I'm a tenant and I'm renting this, then so I'm going to pay $795. $795.
So you'll get this room as well.
It's a big bright bedroom.
Yeah.
Great.
And
Looks like it's near the bed, which is good.
And
lovely bathroom. I love the colours, the yellow and the green, the plants.
Yeah.
Gives it life.
And then they've just got like this little office space here. There was so much uproar with all the neighbours. I think the HMO department said, have it run as a 6-bed first, and providing it's run well, then we should at a later date be able to get the licence. But to be honest, this is quite a small room. And I'm happy just to rent this as one.
Yeah, because the thing is, if you rented that out on its own, with a shared bathroom, you'd probably only get 600 for it instead of 795. So you lost 200 quid.
Yeah.
Then you're going to rent this out for about 550.
So you'd make a bit more money. Well, you'd probably get maybe about because they would have to then share that bathroom.
Yeah.
So you're probably talking sort of 500, 550, so it's quite a small room.
So you're actually going to lose a couple £100, and you're going to have the hassle of an extra tenant, you're going to have the expense, you're going to have the hassle of having to get... Surely you need planning permission to get a 7-bedroom.
Yeah, you do, which I've applied for.
Right.
But I've been told, although on the council website it's still pending, I've been told by my architect that I think they're going to turn it down. So then I just thought, plan B, let's just go with this little living area.
Yes.
And
once you've refinanced it and pulled out not all of the money, but all of your money, what kind of mortgage payments? Are you going to do interest only?
So on a 200,000 mortgage, see, I've got another property, and I think the mortgage on that is 240, and at the moment I'm paying like 438 a month, and that's on 240. So I'm not sure what it will be at the moment, because obviously interest rates have dropped.
Yeah. Maybe around about 350.
Yeah.
We'd have to see. What is the rent then on the whole house? Because you're going to be in good profit.
So the rent on the whole house would be about 3,845.
Yeah.
And then obviously taking off depending on what the mortgage payment. So you're still looking at sort of like 3,400.
Yeah.
After the insurances and stuff.
And then after all the management.
And then
bills.
So the bills at my other property with the management and bills in total is about another 500 a month.
Right. So
about 3,000. So it'd be about 3,000 a month.
That's incredible though, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's a salary.
Yeah.
Right
and then to obviously take out some of the money to do it again.
Yeah. Absolutely brilliant. Yeah, because you're getting a £3,000 income.
Yeah.
From this one house, but then you've got your money to go
and do it again. Yeah.
Do it again. So you'll be on property number 8 soon.
Yeah. Well, we've been looking.
Have you?
Yeah, for my sins, but I don't know. I put an offer in on that one in Blackpool, but I'm still waiting to hear. I think there's been a lot of interest in it.
Yeah.
And you're kind of putting me off it a bit.
No, all I was saying to Andrew is Blackpool is not a bad investment area. Nothing against Blackpool, and the property that Andrew showed me that she's bought is amazing, and it's got great tenants already in there. It's great. But what my advice was, number one, I would personally want to see how it goes for 6-12 months with the tenants in Blackpool before you suddenly go and buy another 5 apartments.
Flats,
yeah. It's like, well, hold on a minute. Let's just see how it goes a little bit before jumping the gun. Secondly, is I don't think you should be buying lots and lots of houses. I think every time you make an investment, you should be going bigger and bigger and bigger, because a small deal is more headache than a big deal, and you don't want loads of small deals. It's a pain.
Well, that's why I prefer the one in Blackpool, the one we were looking at, is one house with 5 flats in, rather than you've got, say you were to buy a load of £50,000 houses, you've got lots of.
But the thing is though, if the tenant, although it's one house, you still got 5 tenants.
Yeah.
And the more tenants you have, we've found this, haven't we?
Yeah.
The more problems you have.
Yeah.
Even if you've got them managed.
Yeah.
Tenants cause problems.
Yeah.
So what I would advise is to move on to stuff. I mean, unless you could rent out the whole block to the council.
Yeah.
And do it on social housing.
Yeah.
But I'd just be saying, let's think systems now, especially with your health and things. I'd be thinking, I don't want, how much hassle is it when you've got loads of tenants?
It is hassle.
Because Mandy oversees our managers.
I know.
But the thing is, here's another thing. You've got a really good management company in Blackpool.
Yeah.
But if Lee packed up, and Lee, by the way, is amazing. We've had amazing property managers that have then gone, oh, we're actually moving on to other things, or you can't rely on one person. No, you can't. And trust me, if you get a few bad tenants, or if they stop paying rent, and then Lee goes, oh, actually, I've changed, and you're like, well, I haven't got the energy to. It could be a pain, can't it? We've had this. Yeah. And then you end up going, oh, and then you just sell it and put it into something bigger and better. So what I'm saying to you is, maybe think about putting it into something bigger and better right now. Yeah.
Yeah. He has put me off the other day on our chat.
I wouldn't advise that if you hadn't already bought in Blackpool.
Yeah.
If you hadn't already got 7 properties, if you weren't already, but from your perspective now, you're not trying to just get some cash flow.
I'm just trying to, I think my plan is, while I'm still around, is to maximise the income. But yeah, you're right, with as less hassle as possible.
Yeah. So what I would do is I'd be like, right, I'd either buy commercial, property, because commercial is easy, but then the problem with commercial is, because we're in a recession, it's good time to buy commercial, but rentability.
Yeah, I just worry about that.
Yeah.
I've got a friend in locally, but he's got a development in Birmingham, and he's got a large shop, and the rates of the building downstairs is so high, it's almost like eating up a lot of his profits for the flats.
It depends on what it is.
Yeah.
If you've got a warehouse that you rent to Amazon, you're going to be all right.
Yeah.
But then, of course, their entry costs to that are high,
Yeah.
you're probably talking about 4% yield on that, which is obviously really low.
Yeah.
But the reason it's low is because it's completely guaranteed. The higher return and the higher yield you get, the more risk and the more problems. So if you go, oh, you know, I've bought a property in Blackpool that's giving me 30% or whatever, that's great. But because it's such a high ROI, it's probably going to have more risks.
Yeah.
Whereas if you go, actually, I've got something that's 15%, but it's guaranteed, totally systemised, 20-year lease, it's going to be less return, but it's totally risk-free.
Yeah.
But you're at a stage now, you might be thinking, this is not what you're saying in your blog.
See, I think ideally, like, you know, what I would like, but I think in this current climate it's very risky, is to do like a flip or something. But at the moment, because things are all a bit up in the air, you know, you could end up going through all the work and, you know, buying a house cheap, doing an extension, adding value, and then you've gone through all that work, prices drop, and you're expecting to make X amount, and then it's like, oh, you know, you've done all that work. So that's, at the moment, that's, to me, a little bit risky.
I just love the way you've done it. Did you choose all this? Or?
Yeah, to be honest, a lot of it was, when we dressed the last HMO, a lot of it was from there. So I kept a lot of it, and I've just redressed this, and then I'll move on to the next one. So when they move in, they're all brand new beds, so they will just get a mattress protector, and all the quilts and things all get taken out. Yeah. And then it gets moved on to the next one. This is the last 2 rooms.
Oh, right. Very nice.
Yeah.
I can imagine. I can imagine someone living here who's a 36-year-old doctor.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure a 36-year-old doctor's probably going to have enough money for their own house.
No, but you'd be surprised.
Yeah.
You'd be really surprised.
Yeah, and to be fair, in my other HMO, I've got a police officer, there was 2 trainee pilots, someone who worked in film, and who else was there? Oh, a teacher.
An astronaut.
So, no, not an astronaut.
No, but that's the
all
thing.
Professional people.
People think HMOs, oh, you know, scutty, working. No, like professional people. When you get them, nice. So, I love this house. Yeah. I'm so glad that we came to this property.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very different from the Blackpool one.
Because
I've done it from the beginning. You know, I've had control. You know, despite my health issues and being in hospital, trying to speak to builders, as I've just had a brain tumour removed. I know. You know, trying to deal with stuff.
I don't know how you've.
Well, it was quite difficult, you know, but I just, you know, I passed while I was in hospital. I passed a few things on to Megan because, you know, she was kind of paying tradesmen and stuff because I just couldn't even, you know, do online banking to send money across. Like literally, I was like, my brain was like mush.
Yeah.
As you can imagine.
But also the brain tumour. That you told us literally, I think a week or so before, you was like, oh, I'm going to have a brain tumour removed next week, and I was thinking, what?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, no, it was an emergency. It was actually emergency that I went in for that because I was going to have the radiotherapy, but then I just was really ill, and then I was rushed into hospital and they did it.
What I don't know how many of my viewers might have health issues. Certainly not on the severity that you've had. But if you were speaking to somebody that did have health issues, health scares, whatever it might be, but also wanted to do property, what advice would you give them?
Well, I think, you know, having the whole cancer thing, and when I went to your crash course and then got diagnosed, I think literally 2 months later when I first initially went, I think I went in the September, got diagnosed in the December. It just really spurred me on to think, you know, how long am I going to be around for? I really need to just do something now, and it just really gave me the kick that I needed to do this, because I just wanted to build up the business to leave, you know, things, you know, financially stable for the family when I'm gone. And that sounds harsh, but that is the reality. It is the reality. And, you know, Spencer's now starting to take an interest because he's obviously aware of the situation. And, you know, we've talked a lot about, you know, what's going to happen after and stuff. And he's you know, and that's why I think now he's stepped up and he's, you know, speaking to builders and making sure things are done and taking more control of things, which is a really good thing because I'm not always going to be able to do it.
Yeah. What are the doctors saying about your future? Like what?
Well, they've said it's now incurable, so I don't know how long. You know, I'm on chemo at the moment, so I don't know how long that's going to work for. They found more cancer in my lymph nodes. Obviously, the brain tumour's been removed, but there's a high chance that you can start getting, you know, regrowth there. Fingers crossed it's okay at the moment, because I'm having like 3 monthly scans. But yeah, it's incurable. I'm not going to make old bones, so it is what it is. But I've learnt to just accept it and just make the most of, you know, feeling well and doing what I can while I can.
And do you generally feel well?
Yeah, I do at the moment. I do. I have days where I'm really, really tired and I'm just in bed and feeling absolutely shattered and everything's a bit of an effort. But then I have days where I feel like today I feel okay. But then I have, you know, like last weekend I was in bed. You know, after I saw you last week, I was literally in bed all weekend. And I wasn't very well over the weekend. But then Monday I got up and I felt fine. Yeah.
What can we do for you to help support you over the next, you know, few months, years, or whatever? Like, how can we?
Well, I think you have been a big help already, Samuel. I really do. You've really inspired me to do what I'm doing, and I'm really grateful for that. I really am. I really am.
I feel like it's a huggy moment, but I mean, COVID.
No, I really do. Yeah, I know it sounds like a real cliche, but without your support and your YouTube videos and your energy, like even when I was in hospital, I just thought, oh my God, I feel really awful, and I literally just put one of your videos, and your voice and your energy just lifted my spirits because of the way that you are. No, seriously.
Oh, that means a lot.
Yeah, you really have.
I just want to publicly say, massive respect. I am in awe of your property investment skills. I mean, honestly, with all that you've been through, the fact that you've managed to do all this kind of development, extensions, projects all over the country, high five.
High five.
Has it been a good ride?
It has been good, yeah.
Awesome.
Ups and downs,
but mostly ups.
Yeah.
Hopefully. She didn't look convinced. But guys, if you want to learn more about property investment, then you need to just subscribe to the channel, and you can subscribe. Whereabouts on the screen is it?
It's usually up there.
Yeah, it is. It's right there. If you want to watch Andrea's full interview, you can check that out right here, although a lot's happened since then, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video.
Thanks.
See you later.
See you later.